welcome to another Erroneous Thoughts. My name is Aaron, and these are my erroneous thoughts. And today, the subject I would like to broach with y'all, ageism. Primarily, I want to discuss culturally how we kind of judge aging and different kinds of age groups in general. So come with me on this beautiful journey of embracing aging, growing older, and our own inherent ageism. And before we begin, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let's comment. Let's get a conversation going about all of this. To begin, I kind of wanted to discuss my relationship with my own getting older, aging. I have a Peter Pan complex. Well, first of all, I love Peter Pan. Love the character. I love the story. I love what it has to say about life, death, getting older, our youth, and magic and happy thoughts. I just never want to get older. I want to stay young, never really settle down, be frivolous and free and flying. There's a lot in my soul, as I've always just been young at heart. I've just never really wanted to fall into the trappings of getting older as I saw it. Kind of wanting to get married or have kids, go to college, do all the things that you're supposed to do. I was kind of like, well, let me go try this. Let me investigate this. Let me go do that. I am not in the same place as other people who are in my age group. But as that's kind of happening to me, it's kind of set me down to a tailspin of, well, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm in this other place. And as I've gotten like older and things have started to happen in my face, and having to like cope with that, figure that out. I am embracing age a bit more, kind of enjoying the ride of getting older, being grateful that I get to be older. I'm kind of finding this little happy place of I can still be Peter Pan and get older. I could be Robin Williams and Hook, I guess, but he gets like serious and mean and stuff. I can be the ending of Hook where I still am Peter Pan and I can still be young and free and I don't have to necessarily follow anything but who I am. Not worry so much about the judgments of others in society and what that means and where I'm supposed to be. And I don't think I've been ashamed of my age, to be honest. I think it's when you tell people, they immediately treat you differently. So I typically don't tell people my age. And I think that's probably part of my own ageism. I just never wanted to be treated differently because of an age. I just want to be treated like Aaron. And I don't really see age in people. I know people like, yes, you do. Of course, I see like some people are older and some people are younger, but I never really see like a number. I'm not like going like, oh, they're probably like in their 60s or they're probably in their 20s. I feel the energy. Like there are 20-year-olds in the world that really come across to me as 50-year-olds. And there are 70, 80-year-olds that I still see as like a 40-year-old energy. But I feel very much like a new soul who's still wandering around trying to figure it out and doesn't know what they want to do. I was told in my master's program as I was graduating from my master's, one of my instructors just didn't believe that I was deserved of a master's degree because I'm not a master of anything. You're good at a lot of things, but not great at one thing. And I used to really tear myself down with that. I used to think it was my weakness, but now I believe it's part of my strength. It's a great thing that I'm good at so many things. I don't have to be necessarily a master at anything. Maybe I become a master at being good at everything. So that's just a little bit of my relationship with age. And I talk about first, American culture, we really revere youth as beauty. And we think that being young is like the best time of life. When we think about nostalgia or when we like certain type of music, people really stick with the music that they grew up with like in their teenage 20 somethings. And they a lot of the time never leave that area. I think a part of that is that it holds such a special spot in everyone's life. And I think that like we have this thing about nostalgia and it's one thing like you'll look back and be like, oh my gosh, that was so beautiful. Then why didn't I appreciate my body? Like let's say you're a 50-year-old and you're going, oh, I was so beautiful at 30. Well, I guarantee you at 30, you're probably going, look how beautiful I was at 18. It pretty much goes to like reason that when you're 60 or 70, you're gonna look back at when you're a 50-year-old and go like, I was so beautiful. To look back in hindsight at something and go, oh, why didn't I just appreciate that? Well, maybe you should start living in the moment, in the present, and start appreciating whatever it is you are right now. Because I guarantee you, you're going to get older. You're going to want to be this age. We're a teenager, 20 something for like this much time of life if we're lucky to live a full life. So how is that going to be the prime of your whole entire life when there's so much more to life? In gay culture, being attractive is power. that means being young is power. I think it really did a number on me, and it took me a while to realize that that's why I'm attracted to, like, let's say, like, twinkish dudes. It's because I think that I saw that as like, I can attract that. That means I'm attractive. I think also though with gay culture specifically, unfortunately, because of the AIDS epidemic, we never really got to see a lot of our culture grow up. So is this the first time we're kind of seeing 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds in the club, 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, right? Because we've never really gotten to experience that. And so I'm trying my best to really embrace that age group into the club when I'm there. I know I'm starting to feel like I don't belong there, but we should belong in any queer space, period. Doesn't matter the age group. But saying all that, I think that as a culture, I think we really need to stop here and now romanticizing and sexualizing 20 something. I think that is a huge problem about our culture. Also, when people are older in their 50s or 60s, we think it's gross that like people are attracted to that or dating an older individual, and that there's a problem with that. To each their own, and like each relationship has its own issues. And yeah, maybe look at why you're attracted to. You should look into why you're attracted to anyone, period. You should be very curious why you're attracted to who you're attracted to. But I don't understand why we don't sexualize 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. There are beautiful, hot 50, 6-year-olds, and we should look to that as well as a standard of beauty. I always remember when I was in college, in the locker room, you would see old men walking around butt naked. And then I'd always be like, but you don't see like these chiseled men walking around naked. And I think that as you get older, you just realize all the hangups you had were just for nothing. You were so stressed out and worried what people thought about you. You're just like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna walk around naked. Who cares? This is my body. I'm not gonna hate on it anymore. Okay, well, I'm gonna start walking around naked. I'm just gonna be okay with being naked in the locker room and not feel ashamed. I'm gonna get changed and not be like, they know. Here we are. These old men just literally walking naked. Why am I ashamed? We should just appreciate our bodies wherever they are. There is definitely a double standard, right? I've heard a lot that men are allowed to get older, they're allowed to go gray, they're allowed to get wrinkles and still be sexy, and women are not allowed to do that. But that women aren't viewed as sexy because of gray hair or wrinkles or whatever. Women should be allowed to get older and be hot and sexy, but you don't really see that with women to be sexualized as an older individual. That's a whole other like discussion we could have, because I think a lot of that has to do with like patriarchy and that men, held power, and the older they got, they had more money. And so like that was a sexy thing, is to have money and have power in America. And I think that's changing slowly now. I think that now as women are getting older, we're changing the way we look at women. I really do, as being sexy and sexual, which I think is a good thing. And to help that, I really think we need to stop saying things like that men are allowed to get older. So maybe it's just in the talking of it. I think that it's time that we see gray hair on women as sexy and beautiful, and we see wrinkles as sexy and beautiful, because you're getting to live longer. You have lived a life. How awesome is that? That's hot. And I also want to say, we need to celebrate birthdays more. You need to celebrate your birthday. We should be grateful more that we are alive, and their birthday is such a great day to celebrate being alive. We need to stop asking people how old they are on their birthday. Why are we doing that, first of all? Why are you asking people how old they are? Why do we care about age? I don't think it's helpful to be like, you look great for 50. What are you talking about? You look great, period. What are we supposed to look like? And so then people don't celebrate their birthday, so they don't hear that question. Which makes me sad. I think you deserve to be celebrated. I think that you're alive and you deserve to have your moment. It's not bad that you're getting older. Not everyone gets the privilege of getting older. And you do. So we should celebrate that. We just want to be seen and heard. We want to know that people see us and not an age, not a number. I really get that idea of different kinds of cultures believed that taking a picture, taking a piece of your soul. And I used to think it was funny that, what do they mean? Like, because of the flash, it took away your soul? Like, what do you mean? And it's not that. It's really that capturing time and freezing it, and then being able to look at that moment of time can take away a piece of your soul, because you're now able to judge that moment. You can look at yourself and go, oh my God, I can't believe I look like that. Ugh. Or you can go, oh man, look how I looked then. Oh, wish I looked like that now. We're really able to tear ourselves apart rather than capturing the present moment with a picture or video. It's really important to try to stay in the present and remember how you feel rather than just how you look or appear. We're probably not meant to be able to freeze time in this way. Probably isn't healthy. The picture's never going to capture how you actually were in that moment and how it actually felt. There's no way it could ever capture. I think I'll end with this quote from Ani DeFranco. It took me too long to realize that I don't take good pictures because I have the kind of beauty that moves. I'm not really attracted to pictures. It doesn't really capture the person, but I meet them in person and see the way they move through the world. It's so much more beautiful to see people in the moment, in the present. There's something about being sometimes around someone's energy, right? Someone can really evoke such a great presence and spirit. So don't judge those pictures so harshly. And don't judge yourself for getting older. And don't judge the wrinkles because somebody loves these on me when I smile. I know it. Beauty moves. Well, you let me know what you think about all this. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I do love when people comment. I love to talk to people. I love to start a conversation. That's my erroneous thought.